It's Movie Time is produced by John DeSando. Listen to the full shows and read reviews online at WCBE.org.
I'm John DeSando.
And I'm Linda Baas McClelland.
And this is It's Movie Time.
It's Movie Time.
And it's time for another good rom-com, Lenny.
Yeah.
Now this one opened up a couple of weeks ago, so it's a little bit unusual for It's Movie Time to be this far behind. But I did want to make sure that people knew that this, and I'll kind of allude to my ending, which is to say that I think it's worth seeing. But anyway, it's called
Long Shot.
Long Shot. And it stars Seth Rogen and Charlize Theron.
Yeah.
Lenny, what's it about?
Well, it's so funny because here's the willowy, beautiful, gorgeous Charlize Theron falling in love with the schlubby doofus Seth Rogen.
Yeah,
and
no.
You're going, I don't think that's going to happen.
Well, Lenny, of course, as our audience knows, this is a staple of the romantic comedy. That they're two different people.
But it's usually switched. It's usually, the male and female roles are usually switched. So this is the first time that you've got a schlubby guy falling in love, or, making the beautiful woman fall in love with him.
You mean it's not Richard Gere
right.
falling in love and Pretty Woman?
It's pure male fantasy, that is for sure. It's rarely touching on reality, but it's lots of fun. And it's a fun time to go to the movies. We've had so many science fiction movies and a lot of other kind of more serious movies. This is a nice break.
And typically there are circumstances that keep these potential lovers away from each other. What is it here that keeps them separate? Besides the looks that you...
The looks.
Yeah, the looks.
Well, number one, she is a Secretary of State,
right?
To a very dim-witted ex-actor he's very vain, but he's harmless. But he talks her into running for President of the United States, and then we have Seth Rogen's character, whose name is Fred Flarsky,
right?
Flarsky. He's an outspoken journalist who just quit his job because his newspaper had been taken over by a big corporate manager.
Right. Somebody who I think reminds me of Rupert Murdoch or somebody else.
Exactly.
Now, and let me interject here that part of the reason for seeing this is the political allegory. So while you have this beautiful Secretary of State and this kind of stoner writer,
right,
and the two are coming together. I mean, she used to be his babysitter.
Yeah, they meet up again at a huge, very fancy New York gala where Boys to Men are playing, and they see each other, and that's how they get reacquainted. Yes, she used to be his babysitter.
And when they kissed when she babysat him is a very funny sequence.
It's a typical male fantasy.
Right. There's some outrageous things going on here,
very
including the last sequence with him by his computer. Which is another one. Which is another one.
I don't even go into the details.
I know that, but it is.
They have to wait to see.
Right, it is funny, but anyway, so they're kept apart. Then they get together again, as is going to happen with the romantic comedy. All of a sudden, usually in the romantic comedies, you're going to get, and I'm thinking specifically of Love Actually, Mamma Mia, Breakfast at Tiffany's, Pretty Woman, Crazy Rich Asians, and Annie Hall are my favorites of the rom-coms.
Yeah.
But usually, it doesn't look like they're meant for each other at all. But we all know from the convention that's not going to be so. They are going to be together.
Well, she hires him. She's running for president, and she must win the support of the electorate. She must promote her environmental initiative.
Yeah.
And she hires him to help write her speeches. And they go on a worldwide tour, a trip, to promote her initiative, and she is always so beautifully dressed and so poised and everything, and here's the schlubby guy in a ball cap and some gross sweatshirt or something.
Typical Seth Rogen.
They are the odd couple again.
But you know what I love about this? Not only the parallels with Hillary Clinton, which are obvious, Secretary of State running for president, but for me, the change that comes over a very idealistic candidate as she moves through the process, and you may remember about the trees.
Yes.
She forsakes the trees in her platform, her environmental platform.
Right.
She has the lobbyists who force her to give up her initiative about saving trees. Now that's pretty, it's pretty simple,
Right.
but it fits into the whole tone of the thing, which is the irony of how politics can
Right.
change idealism.
Another thing that I thought was amusing was because she was a woman, she had people advising her on her smile, the way she would laugh, how she would wave.
Oh, right, she had her
Yeah.
whole thing goes on her elbow.
Move her elbow. You had to just
right.
move her hand.
She had to be
And
advised.
I don't know whether they target women more than men with these
That's
silly,
a good
goofy
question.
details
Yeah,
at the
yeah.
time. But she molds herself into this perfect candidate with Seth writing her speeches.
And I think aren't they going to go to some really very serious event and they're both stoned?
Oh yeah! Oh my golly! They are, yes. She is called in to negotiate a hostage crisis, and she's still high on whatever drug she and Seth have been taking. They've been having a good time, and she kind of pulls it together, but it's a little shaky there. That's for sure.
I'm also amused by Bob Odenkirk as the president, because the biggest thing in his life is what?
That he used to be on television, or he used to be a TV star or something, and he's always watching videos of himself, in his job.
Oh, Lenny, yes.
He wants to be a star again. He doesn't want to be a president.
He wants to go into film.
Yeah, he wants to be a movie
to
star.
lead right to the presidency.
Yep.
And get that's why she gets a chance as his Secretary of State
Right.
to run for president. He's going to support her. He's dim-witted, and
Yeah,
he's
very.
obviously self-centered. And he has some parallels to current leaders in that way.
Yes,
And that's what
yeah.
I like about it. It's not gross
No.
satire.
No, the allusions to Trump are very slight, but it was a relief to laugh about politics for a change.
Oh,
It
that's
really
a good
was.
point, yeah.
But one thing, the only criticism I had that I talked to you about was, as they developed their romantic relationship, I didn't feel any of the chemistry going on at all. It was just very awkward groping and kissing, and it just wasn't believable. But as the film goes along, they make you believe, like, oh yes, they really can care about each other.
Well, as he works on her wording,
Uh-huh.
and she works on her platform, and he's helping her and express that. You can see them coming together. I think
Right, yeah.
I think you're absolutely right. And part of the premise of this is this is an oddball couple.
Yeah.
There's no way they're going to get together.
But the key is they really like each other.
Yes, yeah, I think so. And they moving into the area of love, you just really have to suspend your disbelief.
Right,
You know,
yeah.
because in real life, there's no way somebody who looks like her,
No.
who would be accomplished as a Secretary of State, is going to fall for an Ottawa
No.
writer. It's just not going to work. But I like Rogan. I always have liked Rogan. He has that slightly stoner but
Yeah.
smart.
He's a schlubby doofus.
Yes, and Theron, my gosh, has been
Oh.
in. My Lord, what she's been in.
Oh yeah, she's an Oscar contender.
Right, and a monster being, an Atomic Blonde.
Right.
She's
that's
moving
right.
into these very aggressive
Yeah, she's
roles
so
now.
good.
I know,
She's
but
very
she's
good.
And when she dresses up in that red, she in her red gown,
Oh yes.
she would compete with Julia Roberts
Yes,
in that
definitely.
rom-com category.
Yep.
Of looking really beautiful and classy,
Mm-hmm.
and I do like the satire of Justin Trudeau from Canada.
Oh yes, they were trying to get her, as a presidential candidate, involved romantically with the
A prime
the
minister.
Prime Minister of Canada.
Oh, I'm not even sure it's Canada, is it?
I thought it was.
Okay, but anyway, it's Alexander Skarsgård,
Right.
who's a very elegantly
Yeah.
handsome guy,
Yes.
and he's not really graceful.
No, he's not graceful at all. In fact, they had to change the way he laughed, for
Yes,
public
that's right,
appearances
that's right.
too.
So it's a very nice riff
Yeah.
on Trudeau's presence,
Uh-huh.
and on his charm and his looks,
Right.
and perhaps maybe that doesn't quite rise up to the promise of his looks. And this character, as much as trying to go out with her, because it's good for their ratings,
Mhm.
for the two of them
Right.
to be
He's seen together, but she's falling for Seth Rogen. But
All right, Linda Baas McClelland.
yes, sir.
The film is Long Shot.
Long Shot.
And would you tell me what your grade is?
I enjoyed it. That's why you go to the movies, to have a good time every once in a while. And this was wonderful. So I gave it a B plus.
Oh, very good. And I give it a solid B. So we're very close on that. But I think we learned from this that perhaps we shouldn't try politics.
Well, I think you should run for president.
Right, and this is why I'm not going to do it when I see what happens here.
You might win.
Well, listen, we're happy to be here right on It's Movie Time. And Linda, we are always happy to have my glamorous co-host.
Thank you.